Thank you. I'd like to call to order the April 26, 2021 special board meeting. Pursuant to the extension of proclamation of Governor Inslee and pertaining to the Open Public Meetings Act and SCR 8402, in the interest of public health, the board is extending certain adjustments previously made to the board meetings. Would you please stand with me and say the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Dr. Clark is asked to be excused tonight. Without exception, we will excuse him. Okay, thank you. I'd like to welcome all guests. Mr. Small, I see about 70 people on.
Yes, President Long, members of the board, one of the things that has really turned out to be positive out of this challenge is that on a night that we're recognizing so many people in our district, we just would never have been able to have 70 participants in our boardroom under the regular circumstances and certainly not under physical distancing. And so it gives us an opportunity, although virtually, to really reach out and thank and recognize our community members and our staff for their work and their meritorious awards tonight. So it is one of those times that it's a good thing for us to be able to celebrate so many people.
Thank you. We are here to celebrate the 2021 district-wide Meritorious Service Awards. This past month, we've held over 30 department ceremonies, virtually, of course, where board members personally recognize Meritorious Service Award nominees for their outstanding contributions towards student achievement, learning, and teaching. It has been our honor to recognize 818 total certificates of nomination. They were given to 298 nominees, 203 certificated and classified individuals, 70 employee teams, and 25 community members. All of these nominations came from peers, parents, and students. From these awards, the school board has selected this year's district-wide Meritorious Service Awards. We have 11 district-wide recipients this year. And we will start that with our certificated, Mrs. McMullen.
Thank you, Mrs. Long. It is my honor to recognize on behalf of the board and the district 3 certificated members of our staff as Meritorious Service Award winners. After I've read the nomination that came from your peers, I will pause, and if you, the honoree, would like to jump in and say something, that'll be your chance. Our first certificated award winner is Matt Chisholm, Central Valley Virtual Learning Elementary School. Opening a 900 student elementary school in the midst of a global pandemic, Matt led a Herculean effort that included some of the following. He hired an entirely new staff who'd never worked together before. Some of that staff were classroom teachers, but others were specialists who had not worked regularly in a classroom before. Adopting and setting up a new curriculum on a new instructional platform that had never been used before by any of the participants. He figured out mammoth logistics, including how to get school supplies and electronic access to about 900 students and their teachers. He ensured students' special needs and accommodation plans were met in an entirely virtual world. He built a school community that included 900 students and their families and an entirely new ad hoc teaching team, as well as handling endless multitudes of transitions in and out of programs, and finding this new school's place in an already existing district program. The opportunity he provided for students who could not access traditional school has created stability and opportunity for countless students, their families, and the community. It is an intangible resource beyond any that we could measure. Congratulations, Matt Chisholm.
Well, thank you very much. That's quite an honor. But really, it's a team effort. Working in Central Valley has just been an honor for me. Superintendent Small, I want to thank him because his vision. He's a visionary, and he saw this thing, and to trust me and to work with me on this was I just want to thank him for that opportunity. That's what I really enjoy about Central Valley is they trust their employees, and they also support them at the same time. To have the support of Central Admin and especially Tim Newton-Boom and Kent Martin and Eric Hoagland in the journey was just tremendous. So it was a big lift, and we're all doing big lifts this year. So I feel honored that we're all doing hard work, and to be nominated and recognized for this has been great. Also want to thank the CVVL staff. They've done the biggest lift of all when they jumped into this platform. They didn't know what they were getting into, and they have done a Herculean lift here and have just turned it into something that we could provide for our community in this tough time. So want to say thank you, and once again, it's an honor.
Thank you, Matt. Our second certificated honoree is Lauren Waterbury from the Learning and Teaching Center. Lauren's leadership and advocacy of the Whole Child Initiative in our school district has been absolutely outstanding. She works tirelessly to serve and support every elementary school staff in their implementation of multiple tiers of student support practices and SEL playbook and outreach interventions to support student engagement. Her contribution to each building has allowed them to support their students' social, emotional well-being throughout a global pandemic. She is extremely knowledgeable, professional, calm, and caring in her approach, and a true team member. She has come alongside staff, students, and family. She truly inspired staff to be better versions of themselves as they work to support their students during this difficult year. The whole child is the heart of everything Lauren does for the district and for the students. She shares that vision with others through mutual respect and unconditional positive regard. We know that our school district is a better place for students and their families as a result of all the systems that Lauren has worked so tirelessly to implement. Congratulations, Lauren.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you, school board members. Thank you, Superintendent Small. This has been a very unique year, as I'm sure everyone can attest to. But it has been an honor to serve alongside so many other leaders within this district to help support families and help support students. And like Matt Chisholm just kind of said, it's from the visionary leaders that we have in this district that allow for us to create these opportunities for our families and kids. So I just wanted to say thank you so much for everyone that I've worked alongside with this year. Terry Vanderwegen, Tim Newton-Boom, Eric Hoagland, my partner in crime, Renee Pryor. And I just wanted to say just thank you so much for the recognition. It is an absolute blessing and honor to be a part of the Central Valley team. And I mean that sincerely. So thank you so very much.
Thank you, Lauren. The third class certificated member of the staff, which I am honored to recognize, is Deanne Oster from Micah Peak High School. Dan Oster started out as one of, quote, the big three at what was then known as Barker High School. Dan has been a stable part of the program and has watched it morph into a school for students who need a little different learning environment. He's gone above and beyond when it comes to students in the program, especially through the pandemic, where he's gone to visit students who were struggling. He's been known to take them almost anything they need. After all these various years, Dan still believes in every student. He understands that kids come to school with and believe that all students need and have the chance to become successful, even if it's just showing up for school to get them started. Dan's work ethic has been amazing to watch and to be a part of over his many years. He must be solar powered or wind powered or nuclear powered, whatever, because he never stops working for his students. Dan is a champion for all students. It is his positive spirit and willingness to shine the spotlight on the good that our students do that has led to so many good things that our students do and will do. His efforts are always kid first, and he goes to all lengths to ensure that students have the wraparound support they need to win their educational journey. Micah Peak High School and the whole community have been blessed to have Dan on our team as both an advocate for our students and an advocate for their future. Congratulations, Dan.
Thank you. To say that I'm overwhelmed and greatly honored would be an understatement for sure. I'd like to express my thankfulness to a few people and a few groups. To God for using me in spite of me. To the community we serve. I am so appreciative of all the trust shown by the citizens of the CV district. To the Liberty Lake Kiwanis, with a special thanks to Pat Dockery. To Mr. Smalley, Mr. Pearson, and Mr. Small, and to all the members of the school board. You made us know that we mattered. To the people in the district office, such as Terry Douglas, who made my start in the district better and is still helping me now. To Camille Yosef, words fail me in expressing my gratitude. To my colleagues, what a great group of people. To Dave Biber, John Griffiths, and Jana McKnight, your help and examples mean more than you could possibly know. Finally, and most importantly, I'd like to thank my students. They are my heroes. When I exit this career, I will take the memories of their courage, their joy, and their willingness to risk. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dan.
Our next awards will be the classified, presented by Mrs. Renault.
Thank you. It is my honor tonight to recognize 3 classified staff members. And I'd also like to remind you, as Mrs. McMullen did, that I will pause in between, and if you would like to say a few words, we would love that. And feel free to clap along as I talk about each one of the nominees. So the first person I'd like to recognize is Lisa Frizzell. Lisa's consistent, reliable, and expert support has allowed us to find candidates who are right for our students. She is beyond helpful, even when it involves repeating information that is already accessible. Her work at the LTC may be without students present, but the impact she has is tremendous. There is so much confidence in her guidance, and she works really hard to provide schools with amazing educators. While her work deals with protocols and fine print, you can always sense the compassion she has for helping students, even if her role isn't direct contact with students. She is always so kind, spirited, and willing to help whenever questions or issues arise. We are so fortunate to have her on the Central Valley School District team. Please help me recognize Lisa Frizzell.
I'd just like to say thank you. Our priority in human resources is customer service. We try to give the best customer service we can to all staff and to help make their lives and their jobs just a little bit easier. So this award just says that we're doing something right. So I'm so happy about that. And it's an honor to be given this award for doing the job that I love to do every single day. So thank you very much.
Thanks, Lisa. The next person I'd like to recognize is Deanne Drassen. Deanne Drassen has been a tremendous support to the administrative staff at Liberty Lake Elementary. She has stepped up and done more in her role as head secretary this year than ever before. Deanne is dependable, efficient, and organized. Also, her willingness to take on difficult projects and see them to successful completion has repeatedly impressed me and others over the years. She also projects a warm, cheerful attitude to our families, staff, and our Liberty Lake community. I have seen her resolve conflicts and handle other difficult situations with remarkable patience and admirable tact. She loves people, works really hard, and always tries to lift the spirits of those around her. It is true pleasure to have her as our head secretary. She exemplifies professionalism. Her strong work ethic and can-do attitude makes her an integral part of our team. On a daily basis, she handles the front office with a can-do attitude. No bump in the routine gets her off course. She is steadfast and able to quickly and confidently establish order. It is truly my pleasure to nominate Deanne Drassen for this award, as she embodies what CVSD truly is: inspiring and empowering learners to be contributing citizens in our changing world. Congratulations to Deanne Drassen.
Thank you, school board, for this honor. I'm very humbled and very blown away as well. So I appreciate the acknowledgement. It makes the hard work that I do every day worth it all. I volunteered in the schools for years as my sons were going through Central Valley School District, and I just knew that at some point in my life I wanted to give back to the school in some way, and I feel like I've been able to do that. I have a wonderful team at Liberty Lake. I couldn't be prouder of our Patriots. Fantastic administrative team. Our teachers are just bar none, and our students and the coworkers I get to work with every day. It's just such a pleasure to come in and really feel like I've made a difference in the lives of our students and staff. So thank you again for this honor.
Thank you, Deanne. Finally, I'd like to recognize Traci Brown. Traci Brown is a problem solver, which means she's perfect for a job in special ed. She has the biggest heart for these students who show their needs in the toughest behavioral ways. She lives by her principles of doing what's right, even when nobody is looking. She is loyal to her coworkers, friends, and family, and she celebrates everyone's success, which in turn makes you feel valued and proud and even more self-motivated to continue. Traci has made an outstanding contribution to students by sincerely believing in each and every student. She believes in their full potential, and she'll try to the very end to bring it out in them. This also translates to the families because they can see how deeply connected their child is with her. Traci automatically considers the next setting, whether that be the home, middle school, community, and guides her intervention with that goal in mind. She's also made impressive contributions to our school via track and field for years. She's helped it with the talent show, and she's made distinguished contributions to our district with her help with the first responders childcare. She supported administration in organizing AI rooms within the childcare and helping with gathering supplies and materials. Traci's very resourceful and has the ability to start with nothing and create something beautiful with it. As she transitions from a paraprofessional to a special ed teacher, we can't wait to see how she'll continue to shape other lives with her unique skills, her devotion, and of course, her sense of fun. Please congratulate Traci Brown.
I don't see Traci, so we will move on to our employee team awards, and these awards will be presented by Mr. Tom Dingus.
Thanks, Mrs. Long. So, 4 employee teams to recognize, and I think in this last year we've had, this is, I think, appropriate ones if it's a kind of a year of great teamwork, and the 4 awards we'll go through today really symbolize that I think a lot of teams have done this week, is it's taken teams to get through the last year. But I'll start with the nutrition services and kitchen staff teams. This is from a parent too. Every single nutrition services employee has gone above and beyond for the last year to ensure all our kids have access to food distribution strategies, have been ever changing with the reintroduction to in-person learning, and all team members take every change in stride. Denise and her team deserve all the kudos, and so it was specifically for Denise Quaid, all leads and all kitchen staff, so everyone in the nutrition services group. So thank you for what you do, and I know we've had people speak, and so their team, so if I study them to speak on behalf, that would be a good time. You guys get a video there, that was good.
Good evening.
Okay. Hello.
Having a little technical difficulty there, but sorry about that.
No problem.
I just want to thank you. In the spring of 2020, when everyone was sheltering in place due to COVID, a group of people came together from nutrition services, maintenance, transportation, and paraeducators to meet the needs of our students. When cafeterias were closed and buses were no longer needed to transport students to schools, we quickly pivoted to assembling grab-and-go meals in the cafeteria and serving those meals in buses out of school parking lots. Within 3 days of school closing, we served 5,000 grab-and-go meals per day. I would like to thank the team for all of their hard work and dedication to our students and to our families. I would also like to thank Mrs. McMullen and her sewing friends for making masks to keep us safe. On a personal note, I have served on and led many teams in my career, and this was the most personal, rewarding team I have ever been a part of. Thank you.
Thank you, Denise. Next up, we'll have the transportation department will be the team, and there was a nice segue there, as you can see, these 2 teams worked together a lot early on. So transportation department. Our transportation department went above and beyond their responsibilities last spring and into the school year. Transportation department was classified as essential workers, which meant that they had to come to work when others were required to be home. Everyone who came to work distributed breakfast and lunch throughout the springtime, making sure our students did not go without food. They transitioned into this scenario in less than 5 days. At one point, they were transporting students around the district as they always do, and less than 5 days later, they were moving food to locations throughout the district and distributing that food to our students. They took their new responsibilities very seriously and worked hard to make sure our students were fed. They were extremely flexible as they were asked to change to different sites, change how they distributed food, change the process of storing the food as the weather became warmer, just to mention a few of the changes. The dispatch office was flexible as well. They worked hard to give drivers new instructions when needed and have available all needed equipment for the drivers so everyone could work safely during this unprecedented time period. This fall, when school began, the transportation department once again went above and beyond their regular job duties. Drivers and bus assistants started their school year with very few students in the school, so they had only a few students to transport. Then the department was asked to change routes about every 2 to 3 weeks to accommodate more students coming to school to learn face-to-face. As the school year progressed, routes were changed and drivers asked to add more stops and adjust their routes to make sure all students had an opportunity to get to school. At the same time, they were asked to keep seating charts for tracing purposes every day in case there was a COVID outbreak on their bus or at schools. They had been asked to keep their bus clean constantly for less chance of COVID transfer. And not only were bus drivers and bus assistants asked to change routes and stops throughout the school year, but the routing and dispatch team had to design, redesign, reestablish, and communicate all the logistical challenges week to week. There was a running joke in the department that it was like Groundhog's Day, having the first day of school over and over. Everyone else stepped up to do their parts. Students have been successfully transported to school and home again with an extremely cautious environment that has enabled our students as well as staff to be safe during this complex time period. No one could have predicted the logistical nightmare of adding stops and changing drivers and routes to accommodation the addition of students on a regular basis. Although no one could have predicted it, our transportation staff rose to the challenge and have more than earned their Meritorious award for their hard work and effort to get our students where they needed to be and do it in a very safe manner. I cannot say enough about the professionalism of the transportation staff during this challenging time in our school year. Thank you for all your efforts to keep our students safe and enabling them to get to school and to access their education. With all thanks to the transportation department. Yeah, if there's somebody that would like to speak on the transportation department's behalf.
Good evening, President Long.
And we could, oh, go ahead.
Oh, sorry, excuse me, Mr. Dingus. Good evening, President Long, members of the board, Superintendent Small. I'm honored to accept this award on behalf of the 100+ members of the Central Valley School District Transportation Team, which you know is made up of transportation aides, office staff, mechanics, and drivers. Our team drove over 19,000 miles delivering meals and supplies to students at various locations across the district last spring. The team was often the face of the meal distribution as they handed out breakfasts and lunches on a daily basis in all types of Northwest weather. And yes, that did include snow. Their unwavering commitment to Central Valley School District students and families across the district was clear. And as you mentioned, the challenges that they had faced during the current school year as well, they've been there to adjust and meet the challenges. Thank you for honoring this team for their efforts to combat student food insecurities last spring and for all their efforts they've made to transport the students to Central Valley School District safely this school year as well.
Thanks. With the Oscars last night, I was picturing when you do the Best Picture award and everybody comes up on stage. That's what I was picturing with transportation. Is all 100 would be up on stage if we were virtual right now. I mean live right now. So thanks, and thanks to the transportation team. Next up, I have 3 different nominations, so I'll read bits from each one of them. And interestingly enough, I had 3 different names on the nomination forms. But the elementary virtual learning professional development team of Emily, Fletcher, and Elisa, Cayce. I hope I'm pronouncing all names right. But Emily and Elisa have been an important part of our success as we had to shift to virtual learning model. Their support of our teachers has been nothing short of amazing. They both quickly transitioned from teaching positions to professional development positions. Their research and insights into virtual teaching tools and best practices have been so valuable as they've shared them with our teachers. They have created classes and set up opportunities for teachers to connect with them as questions come up. On a weekly basis, they share valuable resources with our teacher. This has been a very challenging year for our teachers. I can't imagine how much more difficult it would have been without the knowledge and support of these two. Having these two And this role has been a precious gift to our teachers. And some more from a different one. As we were faced with this extremely challenging task, both Elisa and Emily quickly put together teams of teachers and administrators to help assist with building a framework that all K through 5 grade teachers and students would work from. Quickly, these ladies sprang into action by creating teams of administrators and teachers who gave countless hours putting together a scope and sequence that encompassed our core curriculum and a variety of other supplemental resources that were going to support our students as we launched virtual learning in the fall. Along with this building this framework, they continued to build our professional development website for the district as a central hub for everyone. And then in addition to working with classroom teachers, they also took our specialist teachers under their wing and devoted hours upon hours working alongside with them, gathering materials and supporting them as this was all brand new learning for them. We would truly not be where we are today as a district if it was not for both of these ladies. They have poured every ounce of energy into making virtual learning successful for our students and teachers. Thank you for all your hard work, dedication, and persistence throughout the school year. And a little more, a couple other good things to say here. The clarity of the many training modules they have produced have been invaluable, and the one-on-one sessions that have been really helpful to address issues specific to the individuals. They are always willing to help whenever they can, and always with a very encouraging and pleasant attitude, no matter what we may be struggling with. We feel that they genuinely care about each of us and want us to be successful in helping our students to be successful. I feel like I am so far behind many of my colleagues in terms of my ability to grasp math, as the nominator said, but Elisa and Emily have both been very patient, kind, understanding, and encouraging us as they guide me to a greater understanding in so many areas. I've really learned a lot. And we appreciate so much the efforts of both of them to give us ongoing professional development opportunities and group and individual support. And we strongly feel that the role they have played has been crucial in helping teachers provide a better educational experience for our students in a less than ideal learning environment. So thank you, Emily and Elisa.
Just want to say thank you for the recognition. We are both so very grateful for the opportunity to support our just amazing teachers and administrators, but really just to be part of Central Valley's all hands on deck mentality that's been in place this year to provide meaningful learning experiences for our students in such a crazy year. So thank you.
Just to piggyback on what Emily has said and echo what you've heard from others, it truly was a team effort. This definitely couldn't have been done in isolation and in silos. We had collaboration from district administrators, principals, teacher leaders, everybody, like Emily said, all hands on deck to support this work. And we're just we're thankful, blessed to be doing the work that we love, and looking forward to continuing that. Thank you for the recognition today.
Thank you both. And next up, we have another team. Like I said, it's the year of the team. The district outreach committee members, and then also their leadership is the other one as well. So I'll read from the two nominations. At the beginning of the 2021 school year, Superintendent Small charged a group of people with creating an outreach committee. This committee's focus was to locate families who hadn't selected one of the 4 learning options and determine what barriers were impeding engagement. Our job was to create processes and protocols to ensure that every student engaged in learning during this unprecedented time in education. Key stakeholders from across the district, composed of social workers, administrators, school psychologists, counselors, and learning specialists, teamed for this important initiative. We created a vision statement. All CVS students will be engaged in learning, inspiring, empowering learners to be contributing citizens in our changing world. We also created a mission statement, ensure equitable access and remove barriers to learning by providing a continuum of flexible wrap around support to all students and families within the Central Valley School District. These 2 statements anchored our team's work from the lead outreach teams. Sub-teams were formed at the elementary, middle, and high school level to support buildings who had exhausted all their effort and resources in attempting to engage students. These sub-teams trained and led all building counselors on the process how to access their team support, met weekly for the entire school year to review building referrals, determine a plan of action for each referral, ensure that process for providing support was implemented. These team members collaborated with building counselors, connected with families by phone, email, and in person with numerous home visits. These skilled members partnered with the families to address the root causes of their disengagement. Due to these efforts, students and families of the Central Valley School District who experienced the pandemic with additional hardships were supported by all CVSD staff. When we say we're a CVSD, the committee lived up to that core. And then another part of the nomination is while they nominated the rest of the outreach team committee, we would like to take this opportunity to add the leaders to this nomination. Lauren Waterbury and Renee Pryor have provided stellar leadership in guiding the work of the outreach team, including creating a vision, developing processes and protocols, and facilitating district-wide intervention for students that remove the barriers to learning. And I'm going to read the names of the outreach team members, and somebody could keep score to see how many names I don't get right or get right, but I will do my best. So Quinn Lesage, Tim Peraducator, Janet McDonald, Jennifer Cayce, Connie Mott, Rachel Crooks, Annie Robbie, Jennifer Ashlock, Kimberly Bowman, Christina Belknap, Caitlin Clark, Kristen Day, Trina Fuhrer, Natasha Simchuk, Leslie Helms, Shannon Phillips, and then somebody said me, but I'm not sure who me is. But so if you were left out, you might know who you were. So thanks everyone for all your work on this and this a brand new team this year, and so coming together. I'd like to speak.
Thank you. Yeah, I think you did a great job of pronouncing those names, Tom. So on behalf of all the members of the outreach team, we would like to thank President Long and the members of the board for recognizing this team's hard work and dedication to students and families in Central Valley. Also to Superintendent Small, Lauren and I would like to thank you for allowing us to lead this important work. The work was not easy, but extremely rewarding as we engaged with students and families and met them where they were.
Yeah, this team of really remarkable leaders, they worked and they continue to work tirelessly to just impact students and their families. The collaboration between outreach members and buildings really created a unified approach, supporting those who struggles to stay connected during these unprecedented times. And so this team's work will continue to impact families as it becomes a solidified support for all that we serve in Central Valley School District. And we would just really like to thank you again for acknowledging all the members of the district outreach team. So thank you.
I think my list of names was cut off, so that's why some were missing. I'm betting me was actually the start of Melissa Scott. Thank you, everyone.
Our last category is our community. The Central Valley Learning Support Sites. As we reflect on the pandemic this past year and the challenges it presented us, we are most grateful for our community partners. The immediate switch to an all virtual learning environment created barriers for learning for some students. This is where our community partners stepped up with not only spaces to learn, but their kindness and generosity towards students as they became our learning support sites. By opening up spaces for those that were in the greatest need, you made a difference in these children's lives. Your willingness to open the doors to provide a safe and nurturing learning environment was so greatly appreciated. Central Valley School District is so fortunate to have each and every one of you as partners. Our team members include, and please, if you would like to speak, would you please step up, unmute, Boys and Girls Club, Care Project.
Good evening, and thank you. Thanks a lot. I'm Dick Hanlon. I'm Executive Director for Boys and Girls Clubs. We really appreciate this recognition, and we're really thankful for the opportunity to extend it to Boys and Girls Clubs to join you in serving Spokane Valley young people. We've really enjoyed the chance to work with so many wonderful individuals and groups, and I'm sure many others here this evening and others not here this evening will agree with us that the entire district and our mentor, Terry Vanderwagen, are also deserving of meritorious recognition for the inspiring vision and leadership that has made such a big difference for kids and their families during this pandemic. Thanks again.
Thank you. The Hub Sports Center. Legacy Church, Liberty Lake. One Church. Opportunity Presbyterian. The Redeemer Lutheran Church. Valley Real Life.
Yeah, we just want to say thank you. We appreciate our partnership with Central Valley School District, and like so many churches in the Valley, we just want to be available, and we're so thankful to be able to serve and to come alongside the kids and staff there in the district. So thanks for the privilege of being able to do this.
Thank you, Steve. You putting out the special bins to keep the students' things together truly made a difference in their lives, and school supplies, lunches went above and beyond. Thank you so much for what you've done for our children. Okay, so I will move on to our next one, and that is the Spokane Valley Partners Learning and Teaching Center. Each and every year, the Spokane Valley Partners packages and donates thousands of weekend meals for our Central Valley students with food insecurities. Oftentimes, these are the only meals for these students in their household each weekend. When the pandemic hit and we had to close schools, we knew this was going to create even larger need. Spokane Valley Partners stepped up and shifted gears with us, moving to an operation set up for the CVSD employees and community volunteers to deliver the food to the doorsteps every Friday with 500 to 600 meals. This program continued with mobile food opportunities and evolved into a partnership with our schools in the fall, where the Spokane Valley Partners would bring the food to schools, where meals were picked up by their families, and extra food was also provided for the weekends. We're so grateful to the Spokane Valley Partners as one of our leading community partners, especially during this pandemic, to help overcome the barriers to learning and provide for our community needs. I see Cal.
Well, I think you can hear me. It's not letting me get the video on here, I don't think. But just wanted to, oh, here it is. Sorry. There we are. Just wanted to say thanks, of course, for just allowing us to be part of your family. I feel like it's been that way ever since Pat Dockery initially started Food for Thought about over a decade ago. And just to correct some of your numbers that were on there, it said 5 to 600 meals. Actually, we were up to about 730 students at the biggest week, which would be about 4,300 meals that week. So it was a lot of food, and we're so grateful. And I was so thankful to hear from your transportation department and all the other teams that, I mean, they were really spectacular in distributing all of the food that we just put together. That's our job, but you guys were phenomenal at redirecting all of your resources to meet that need. So I even saw Ben out there a few times in the food line, packaging and getting things into cars and buses and so forth. So thank you all for that. We also want to recognize all the corporate sponsors that help. I know STCU was out there a bunch with their employees. Numerica was in the building with us, packing them and getting things ready, along with a lot of your students. When the students weren't in school, we had a different sports team every week in our building packing the food. So you guys were phenomenal. It's a privilege to be partnering with you in this. Anything we can do, you've got a blank check with us. So thank you for what you do.
Thank you so much. We
Debbie?
have plaques. Yes,
Debbie?
Mr. Small. Yes.
If we could go back and recognize Mark Walker from Valley Nazarene.
Thank you, Mark. The Valley Nazarene Church. Thank you, Mr. Small. Mark, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes, thank you so much for what you've done for our children.
Yeah, absolutely. We've been happy to be able to partner. We've worked a lot with Evergreen Middle School over the years, and we're just glad for other ways to try to be a blessing this last year in this unusual year. So thanks.
No, thank you. We have plaques and individual plaques for team members, which will be delivered to each and every one of you. Your names have also been added to our district's perpetual plaques that are held in the boardroom. Thank you all for an amazing year. To be honest, whether you were classified, certificated, community, or an employee, know that we could not have done the past year without each and every one of you. You've truly made a difference with our students' lives and in our community. Thank you one and all for being so wonderful. And we're so grateful to thank you. So typically there would be cake, but apparently Mr. Small has put us all on a diet, or it's that virtual diet cake. So yeah, I love you too. So thank you one and all for attending tonight, and I hope to see you at our board meeting.